Hello Mousers! Today we're talking about gay marriage as promised. With the Commons vote having come in, I thought it was a good time to discuss the fact that 400 MPs voted for equality for human beings and 175 didn't. So, Jen, did you listen to anything on the radio about the gay marriage debate?
Yes, certainly did. There's quite a bit going on the radio, but I must admit, I've been quite angry as well about some of the things that the people who are against it have been coming out with.
Yeah.
And they're really quite stupid arguments.
It's been ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, they all seem to presuppose that if gay people are allowed to marry, somehow the whole institution of marriage falls apart, and there'll be people out there who go, oh my dear, we must get divorced because gay people can now get married. So, and there's been a lot of talk about, marriage should only be for procreation between a man and a woman, and you think, well, that's so easy to disprove. What about all of the couples who, they get married, but for whatever reason they don't have children? Or, what about single mothers?
Well, that's something that I put out earlier. There was a debate in Parliament today, and one of the things that came up was this strange idea that marriage was all about children.
Yeah, I mean...
Which, of course, we can prove instantly marriage is definitely about children, and that's why we've never had any unmarried mothers.
Yeah, it's because, the best way to, the best contraception is not getting married. No, it doesn't work like that. You don't need to be married to produce children.
Moreover, just because you're married doesn't mean you've got children. There's a lot of people who can't have children, but they're married. So, are their marriages invalidated by the fact that, according to these people, marriage is only about children? Of course not. It doesn't make sense. The entire argument is ridiculous. Then there was this other idiot, Richard Drax MP, who was suggesting that because we were giving gay people the same rights as straight people, automatically this meant that we were redefining marriage. He actually went into Parliament and said, so what's next? Are we going to keep redefining words? That's not an argument against the equality, that's just stupidity. What the hell was he thinking?
Yeah, it's... the arguments of the people who are against gay marriage kind of, they sound to me like we've heard all these arguments before, but with different words in. And you can quite imagine that this kind of mentality of people in the 1950s, arguing against how we shouldn't allow interracial marriages, or go back even further, and there would have been people using these same arguments, saying how dare people suggest that we abolish slavery?
Yep, this is the thing. It's like what some of the MPs were saying. Anyone who voted against gay marriage is on the wrong side of history. We've seen this time and time before. There's always someone who's, but it's always worked fine just the way it is. Why should we change now? Why should we give rights to these people when everything's worked out fine for us for all this time? I've got no problems, so why should you have problems when you could always just go out and marry someone of the opposite sex? It doesn't matter that you're not attracted to them. You could always marry them. You've got the same rights that I have. No, they haven't. That's the point. And they miss the point every time because they don't look for it. It's willful ignorance. And that's what puts people on the wrong side of the debate. The other thing I really wanted to talk about was, again, all day when I've been watching this on BBC's live stream, people claiming there's no mandate for equality of marriage. There's no mandate, no mandate, no. Never mind that it was in a document that was published before the election and it was part of the manifesto and it was the equality section of the manifesto. And the fact is that most people didn't read it. Most people didn't read any of the manifesto. It doesn't matter. It's there. It was published before. It doesn't matter that sometimes it was brought up to their attention 3 days before. It was there before the election. It doesn't take you 3 days to realise that equality might be a good idea and then vote for it.
Well, the other thing that puzzles me is the people who are trying to claim that there's no mandate. What are they basing this on? Have they been out and asked everybody? Because, I get the impression that actually most people don't really care. They're not against gay marriage. Most people think that everybody should have equal rights. Even in just the last 10 years, the equalisation of rights amongst gay people compared with what straight people have has been quite an accelerated process.
Yes.
And people are beginning to realise that we're not weird freaks, we're just people like everybody else. And as such, why can't we have the same rights as everybody else?
Oh, excuse me. Well, that's the thing. We can. And this whole thing of no mandate basically comes down to, I didn't realise that this was in the manifesto when I stood as a candidate for the party whose manifesto it was in, because I didn't read it. I didn't bother actually listening to what my policies were supposed to be. I just wanted to get the really big salary and not have any actual working hours. That's what it comes down to. And the other thing, even if it wasn't there, public opinion in all of the polls, except the one that's the campaign for keeping the marriages as it is, basically stuffed by getting children to force write these things. And that, I'll stick a link to that in the information bar underneath the video, because that is actually what happened. They got a lot of people in church to force their children to write letters in order to boost up their poll. But every other poll that's out there suggests that between 60 and 70% of the population support equal marriage. There's your mandate, even if it wasn't in the manifesto.
Yeah, I mean, cries of no mandate really is the last refuge of the bigot who really doesn't want to wake up and smell the coffee.
Yeah. And just as one final thing, someone genuinely got up in the middle of Parliament and did the Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
What are they,
Actually,
in the playground?
That's it. Does this person not realise that he's in the seat of democracy, not in a damn playground? He's not 4. He was in his 50s.
Although, on the plus side, this whole debate has kind of flushed out into the open all of the bigots who we won't be voting for next time.
Yeah, there's going to be, within the next day or two, a list of 175 MPs who should not be voted for at the next election because they cannot be trusted to give basic equal rights to human beings.
Yeah, they'll find out the hard way where the mandate and public opinion is at because, well, they're going to be held to account for this.
Definitely. Okay, that's all really that we wanted to talk about today. It's been a gay marriage special. Tomorrow we'll be back and we'll talk about something else. So that's going to be great, and I hope that you've liked what we've said today. If you did, remember to click the like button, share it with your friends so that they can see what's been going on in Parliament today, and subscribe for future videos. But until next time, I've been Zoe Kirk-Robinson.
And I've been Jennifer Kirk.
You're watching the Odd Mouse channel. We'll see you tomorrow.
And yes, we are lesbians, and no, you can't watch.